Hey, good afternoon. Great to be here. I was asked to speak today because I think I'm one of the few surviving members of the Reagan White House that's still around today. You know, I had the privilege of being a small part of the Reagan Revolution. And I was a policy analyst for President Reagan in the White House, and it brings back great memories. But I'm here to say that we can be encouraged today because we've been through this before. We really have. A lot of you are too young to remember. But when Reagan took office, we had inflation rates that were through the roof. Interest rates over 20-some%. Unemployment over 10%. Gas lines stretching 2-3 miles long at some times. And then we had an incumbent president saying what's wrong with America is the American people. Anybody remember that? Man, I do, I tell you. But when Reagan took office, he drove the political elites and the cultural elites in Washington absolutely crazy, because he would come out and say things like, you know, don't look to government to solve your problem. Government is the problem. Remember that? Oh, he went crazy when he said that. He said, you know, government's view of the economy is, if it moves, tax it. If it keeps moving, regulate it. If it stops moving, subsidize it. Oh, when he would say that, the Washington Post people would go absolutely nuts, and they would just write all kinds of bad things about him. That's why he always told the White House staff, he said, don't read the Washington Post editorials, please, just forget about it, we have too much to accomplish here. But President Reagan had some core beliefs, and he believed in his heart, and he didn't have a degree from Harvard or, you know, some economics Nobel Prize or anything like that. He believed you can't spend more than you take in. He also believed that the more you tax an activity, the less that activity will produce. And so when he took office, he set out to cut government spending. He put a freeze on federal hiring to reduce the size of government, and he cut taxes. Well, this went against all the conventional wisdom in Washington. But 2 years after taking office, the engines of our economy started running on all 8 cylinders, and the economy just turned around and it was going. So look, be encouraged here today because we have been through this before and we can do it again. Now, I run a small business in Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan. And the name of the company is called Christian Freedom International. And 2 years ago, I moved my headquarters from Virginia to Sault Ste. Marie because, you know, Michigan and the Upper Peninsula is a great place to run a business. It's a great place to live and to raise a family. And when you have 12 children like my wife and I do, raising a family is a very serious commitment. Yeah. And you know, that's why I'm here today. It's really for our children. It's for our businesses. It's for our families. It's for our state. It's for our nation that we get together and speak out and get involved in the process like never before. Over the past 2 years, I've had the privilege of helping move over 70 persecuted Christian refugees from the totalitarian state of Burma to Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan, where they've begun a new life for themselves. You know, and all of them, they're living the American dream now. Those who need jobs, have jobs, are paying taxes, and they're productive members of our society here in Sault Ste. Marie. And you know, for many, this was their first 4th of July in freedom. And what a thing to share that with them, to live in a free country. They understand more than most that freedom comes at a cost. It comes with a price, and they appreciate it. And they understand that we cannot go down the path of so many other nations, the path in which I'm afraid we're currently on. You know, some say that America, our best days are behind us. That the future is kind of dim, that we have to have sacrifice ahead of us. The prospects are dim. I reject that view. I reject that view, and I hope you reject that view as well. America is still the greatest country in the world. Let's not forget. Let's not forget. In 1620, a group of families dared to cross the Atlantic. And when they arrived in Plymouth, Massachusetts, these are people fleeing religious persecution. When they arrived at Plymouth, Massachusetts, they formed a compact, an agreement about how free people would govern themselves. This compact would serve a pattern for things to come.